What's up, everyone? It's Kovacheese, and I'm finally back after a lot of, I guess, holiday time and spending time away with friends and just a week of being kind of down and not wanting to make videos. So that equals a lot of time not making videos. But I am back. It's the New Year's, so this is going to be my first video of the new year. Pretty excited about that, and we are going to start off with a pro game commentary here, and this is going to be about a 2200, almost 2300 ELO match, and this one is actually on EU, so we're going to be seeing some people here doing strategies from Europe, and I'm curious to see how it's going to work out. We've got a Mordekaiser, which you don't actually see that often. And so I'm guessing that it's going to be a Nidalee mid, which is also a little bit non-standard. It's definitely something that works out quite well. You can throw out those spears, doing tons of damage. Yeah, just like Freak says. Alright, well, I've got myself a giant smoothie that I made this morning, and it is quite yummy, so I'll be sipping on that while doing this commentary. Doesn't seem like we have any invasions happening, just a couple of people guarding their entrances, making sure that nothing scary happens. Bit of warding there by the Nunu, and that ward will stand. And so let's go ahead and move these guys around while we still have a chance, as they are doing the jungle there. And we're going to have Teemo versus the Yorick. Now I'm curious how that's going to work out. I feel like Yorick should win out on this one, since he does have a lot of healing from his Wraiths. Obviously they did nerf it a little bit a while back, but he is still a strong champion, and so I'm going to have to just give it right now to Teemo for the early game, just because he's got those flasks and potions. One start I've been doing as a top laner is I've actually been grabbing one or two wards to begin with. That way I don't have to worry about early gank pressure, and I can just shove the lane. Now obviously this is going to, this is going to matter if, it's going to matter more if you have a champion that can push very well and harass at the enemy tower, because at that point you're obviously going to be a lot more vulnerable to ganks. Looks like down here Source is getting lots of damage taken on him, but he does have that barrier ability to keep himself alive. First blood is going to go to the Ezreal, and he tries to come back in there to make some plays happen. He will jump into the turret, take a little bit of damage, but both of them will make it out safely. Either way though, first blood goes to the Ezreal with some nice plays there. He did get level 2 before the Graves was able to, so he was much more powerful in that trade there. Seems like Lee Sin is doing his best to stand here and make some plays. He's just dodging out of those traps there. Oh, actually, that's his own ally. My bad. But yeah, he's just kind of waiting for an opportunity to go into that Mordekaiser. He's not going to find it, and in fact, Olaf is here to counter jungle, or counter gank, I should say. And that's definitely a good thing to do as a jungler. If you see that the enemy jungler is running in for a gank somewhere, it's almost always a good idea to try and run up there and make a counterplay against that. One reason being that they don't always expect you to come in at that exact moment, and a lot of times they do a little bit extra risky stuff to try and bait out fights. So for example, somebody will let themselves get a little bit lower so that the lane will try and fight them, and that way the jungler has a chance to go in there. So as an enemy jungler, and there you go, there's the kill on the top lane. Looks like he might actually turn it around and get a kill there. Oh no, his shield came up in time and that ignite did wear off. But yeah, a lot of times you'll be a lot stronger than them when you come in for that counterplay, if that is the case. And Mordekaiser is just being a dick here, shoving in as hard as possible. Olaf will be coming around from the backside. Doesn't look like there's any wards there that's going to spot him, and so he's going to be able to farm those Wraiths safely for now. He noticed that the Lee Sin had to go back, so he knew that he had a little bit of time to get in there. He just smites it and attacks it to take it down, and heads right back out of there into his own jungle. So I'm guessing he's going to go to his Wraiths down bottom lane, they are being a little bit more careful now that he doesn't have that, you know, immediate I'm twice your level at level 2 advantage that Ezreal players have. He's not bursting anyone down immediately anymore. But that's the main thing you got to make sure and pay attention to against an Ezreal, is that once he gets level 2 before you, he's probably going to go all in on you if you give him the chance. And that's exactly what he did to the Sona, especially since Sona is so damn squishy after you know, the nerfs patch or two ago to her HP. And she didn't build any HP items here, so I mean, she just got the flask. And although she can regenerate after taking a few bits of poke, she can't take that all in that he can do at level 2. So that was definitely a big problem for them. Teemo here at the top is getting shoved in a little bit. Oh my god, I just missed a kill here. Let's jump back. As soon as I left, he ganked. Alright, so let's take a look at what exactly happened here. Looks like they are actually quite a bit low in the lane, and the Nunu is backing off, and there's the teleport comes in from Vol'jin, and I don't even know if it was really necessary. Like, he just ran in there and bam. Got blown up so fast. Overall, that was great timing because he noticed that Nunu was back, and they were also a little bit low HP. He did have his lane shoved in, so the Teemo is trying to actually freeze that right now. And there is the gank right now onto the Mordekaiser. That was really great timing because that Nidalee would have definitely gone down. Luckily, he gets out of that alive. He had enough shield to keep himself alive, and the Nidalee didn't die to the damage either. She had enough shield from Lee Sin and then her own heal to keep herself alive. Some great plays happening in this game so far. It's only 2-1, but it seems like a lot of action is still happening nonetheless. Up top lane, he does have his teleport down, and Teemo wants to shove this in as hard as he possibly can. He doesn't have a lot of damage yet because he's still working on building up the upgrade from his Tear of Goddess into the Manamune, and Teemo is just going to do his best to take advantage of that. He is quite the dick of a champion, so he can just sit there, poke down, and farm easily all day long. Definitely a fun champion to play, but never fun to play against, that's for sure. So now bottom lane has kind of had their trades. I'm curious as to who is going to get the next kill in this situation here. As we can see, they are actually behind on blue side, as the Ezreal is out farming quite a bit at the moment. But we'll see if that begins to even back up and as the game goes on further for Graves. And Olaf will be coming down for a gank in just a second, so we'll be watching that after this here. But there's going to be a gank in mid lane first as the Lee Sin comes in. Can he land his Q? Looks like Olaf is going to go for the counterplay. Wow, so much blown up there. He was able to take him down so fast with that execute from Nidalee's kitty form. And that's going to be a double kill for the Lee Sin. So enemy Lee Sin, blue team Lee Sin is doing quite well in his ganks so far. He's kind of being everywhere that Olaf wants to be at the same time. Have Mordekaiser calling a duo ejected. I think he's not happy with what's happening here. Looks like Ezreal is able to put down some pretty nasty poke onto Graves. Generally, Graves does a pretty decent job against Ezreal, to be honest. However, in this particular case, it's just not working out for him. It would have been great if he had like a Taric with him to lock him down. Obviously, he can blink out of that, but Graves can jump in there and do quite a bit of damage while somebody is stunned. So right now, I think with that Nunu, that's just gonna basically help Ezreal to constantly attack down those creeps and do tons of poke damage in the meantime with his Q, while last hitting no problem. And that is kind of the good thing about Ezreal. Like they've nerfed him several times, but he still remains a very top pick. And it's kind of funny because I remember a long time ago, before they even buffed or nerfed him or anything, like everyone, or not, pretty much everyone thought he was such a terrible champion. Then all of a sudden people started playing him. This looks like this is going to be a full burst. Olaf came in for the gank and did not recognize how much damage this guy can do. And yes, the Teemo grabs the kill, but now Lee Sin is actually caught up here, and he's going to grab The pickup. Oh, and the spear! What a great spear. Nidalee comes in at the last moment, just barely missing that mushroom, throws out the spear and grabs the kill. That was amazing all around. Looks like Sona wants to go for a kill, but she ran out of mana there and probably out of cooldowns as well. Also did not have Graves in there to help, and taking a turret damage, she was able to give a free kill to that Ezreal. Not the best play that I've seen. So not very good coordination. I think she was really expecting that Graves to do something there. And she just did not have the damage that was necessary to finish that off. An ultimate comes out of Mordekaiser. Nidalee's just going to go ahead and hang out here and try to heal that down. Now that the ult is off, she's going to use this Lee Sin to try and pick up a kill. Misses the spear, misses the Q, and now she's going to go down, getting outplayed there, unfortunately. Pukey style, doing some nice plays there as Mordekaiser. Kind of pretty big mess up by the Nidalee. A lot of people tend to do this. They will actually go in and, oh my god, Gorillas actually almost got taken down, almost got double killed by that Mordekaiser. And Olaf was not able to get in range in time to either throw the axe or just pick up the kill on himself. So that was a very clutch play by the Lee Sin, being able to do that. So anyways, we've got top lane again here, very low. So it seems like Teemo's actually winning out on this lane so far. He's not necessarily able to shove the lane completely, but now that he's got Vol'jin a little bit low HP, Vol'jin has to kind of back off and let him have free reign over those waves. But Teemo's going to go ahead and roam it around just a little bit. So let's go back to full vision since he ran into that bush. He's setting up those shrooms all over the place. Looks like Vol'jin actually runs into the bush. I don't know if on purpose or what, but he popped that shroom down now. Bottom lane is getting a little bit of action. Let's back off so we can see the whole thing unfold. Looks like they are pretty much both full HP. Lee Sin is not close just yet, but we have Nidalee roaming in, and Ezreal has actually taken down the Sona all by himself there, no problem. So he just kind of bursted that down completely, and now he's going to be turning it on. Source using his barrier to try and stay alive, and almost taking him down. If he had hit that Q, it might have been really close, but there's the ulti, and that will take him down for the second kill. Ezreal finally dying with the combined efforts of Lee Sin and Miss Kitty over here. And it looks like a Bang on First Date is going to be running away. No mana to give himself any more speed. Well, actually still has the speed buff, so he's going to be good to go for that one. Oh, and that spear did so much damage at max range there. She only has a Doran's ring, but it hit from such long range, and he has low HP. Oh man, look at that. He's actually very surprised. How did you have the range for that? That was a sexy spear, and this is why I like to see some AP Nidalee. So exciting to watch those spears go out. Alright, well, I am really interested to see how these Nidalee spears are going to affect these guys once they start grouping up for team fights. We've still been in the laning phase. It's only 12 minutes into the game so far, so we still have quite a bit of game left. The game is actually quite close, and we don't have any clear winner, so this is not going to be a snowball victory in 20 minutes. And I think this could be a game that actually lasts and goes on a little bit. And does he have his ultimate? There he goes. I was waiting for that. So Nidalee probably either didn't expect that or thought she can burst him down before he popped it out. But either way, she did cause him to use that up in exchange for her flash. Bottom lane here now being a little bit cautious as Ezreal is really strong at this point. He's got a full Bloodthirster built up, and Sona running right into that bush, not the place to be, as the Nunu's just kind of sitting there waiting for him to come in. And these guys are really in a scary position. Lee Sin looking for an opportunity to come in here and gang Pukey style. If that spear were to hit, it looks like they keep missing their skill shots in this mid lane there. But in this particular case, it's probably not going to matter if they can just get an ignite off. There it is. So Gorillas is able to grab the kill. And not with an ignite, but I guess some kind of creep damage. He keeps walking away and still getting the kill. I guess the red buff is just like, he's so precise with knowing when that red buff is going to get the kill. Source in big trouble here on bottom lane, and that ulti almost got the kill, and just barely a little tiny bit of ultimate is enough to take him down from the Nunu. Overall, this bot lane right here is doing a great job of controlling the Graves and Sona. I mean, they are just doing amazing in this particular lane. In a lane that, oh my god, why did you stay around, Sona? No! And Ezreal picks up an easy kill there onto that lane. Up here, it looks like Totsov is doing his best to kind of poke down Vol'jin. Vol'jin ran right into that shroom. He still does not have his Manamune built up. Instead, he went for Home Guard so that he can get some crazy teleport ganks going on. He dodges out of the axe throw, and he will be making it out safely. Looks like Nidalee comes in, throwing big old spears, doing some nice damage with that. And Lee Sin comes in from behind as well, trying to get the gank. All they need to do is land something. Olaf, man, I feel bad for this guy. Everywhere he goes to gank, he dies. It's like everyone is they just got his number. And that is unfortunate for him. The main thing that is going to be affecting blue team, they are doing so well in the mid and jungle, but their bottom lane is just getting wrecked so hard right now. And Yorick, you know, he's having a little bit of trouble against Teemo, but he's not really losing hard against him. He's only a few CS behind. He's even on kills, and so far that's not bad. Spears coming out from Nidalee. Nothing is going to land, but she will be trying to poke this tower down as much as possible. Although he makes it really hard to do so, as he can clear those waves out quite heavily. And now with that gank from the rest of his team, Vol'jin was actually able to pick up the tower before Teemo was able to take down Vol'jin. So overall, I'd say that blue team is winning that top lane now because of that gank. And that was one of the things about top lane, is that you can be doing really well, but if your team comes in and kind of screws you up, you're going to lose that. And of course, bottom lane finally takes this turret. And now that Ezreal and Nunu are going to be grouping up, this is going to be very difficult for the blue team to continue making these kind of plays. Olaf here trying to stop this Lee Sin from doing as much work. He kicks him out there, and he might actually get the kill. He just needs one more auto attack. Can he do it? He does get the kill. Gorilla's in big trouble now, though, as he does have Teemo on the prowl. That's 500 extra gold for Teemo. That's going to put Teemo back in a good position against the Yorick there. Obviously still doesn't have a tower, but the extra gold will help him out quite a bit. Big damage coming from these spears. She's going to have to poke him down from long range because she can't straight up engage him. He is very, very strong right now. Almost has a... damn, he's almost got a Phantom Dancer built up, so kind of an interesting setup. I've been seeing a lot of Ezreal's going for the Iceborne Gauntlets, but he's like, screw it, I'm going to go straight up old school with a Phantom Dancer. And here is the gank from both Nidalee. Oh my god, and he shuts her down! And he's going to push Vol'jin away, potentially getting a double kill there. That is how strong he is right now. Holy crap. Oh my god, that Ezreal shot that ulti in the most random spot ever and was able to take her out. But he is kicking ass right now, and Gorillas is able to take down the Nunu. So Nunu, you know, he's been doing a great job of supporting that Ezreal, but he's not strong on his own, and Gorillas takes advantage of that. Okie dokie. And here is the dragon. Looks like Lee Sin will be picking that up now that he noticed that the Ezreal was top lane. Of course, Ezreal is running down here, and he could have been at the dragon right now. But he thought, okay, this is a good chance. I'm going to go for this as fast as possible. Ezreal comes up there just a little bit too late. He's not going to be able to catch that. In fact, I don't know if he necessarily would have even gotten the kill, but he is really strong right now. He's got a Static Shiv built up, so I thought he was going for Phantom Dancer. Static Shiv is going to be the name of the game, though, in this particular case, and he's doing tons of damage to this Sona. Is he going to stay in there for the kill? He might have his ultimate up. I don't know. It's oh so close, but he shot a little bit late, and they were able to spread out and dodge out of that ulti. Gorilla's now going to put himself in a bad position if he keeps chasing. Luckily, he decides not to do that, in his case anyway. And now that his team is here, he's going to go in and go for that. Spear's coming down, doing big damage to iBang on the first date. And we are in a situation where the blue team is probably going to start grouping up. We've got about 3 people here, 2 more in the base, heading back up. And they need to take down that mid turret. It's the only thing they have left, and I think that's going to go down very soon. If they can burst down this Mordekaiser, that is going to be free reign on that turret until the rest of red comes in. Looks like Teemo's shrooming the area so no one can come in from behind or even chase through that area. And that's going to make it very difficult for anyone who comes around from behind to do any kind of sneaky gank tactics. Gotta love those ghosts, man. So you got Yorick, and if you buy one of those twin shadows, you can have even more ghosts running at you. Holy crap, that spear almost completely destroyed Toadsop. So he's gonna be out of this next fight if they decide to engage in one. Graves, however, is not in the area either, and in fact he's actually backing off to buy some items since he is so far behind. He has no full items built up, whereas Ezreal has 2 full items right now at 6 kills. He is just sitting really nicely, and in fact, like, if he had not gotten any kills, or if Graves had the same amount of kills, he wouldn't be too far behind. 20 CS is not, you know, not something you want to be behind, but it's not like, oh, terrible, I lost the game. Oh, and there we go. There's a nice ulti. This Mordekaiser is just getting outplayed all day long. Not doing so well at all. Trying to 1v2 a Nidalee and a Sona. Not the best idea. And he gets punished for that greatly. So this red team is going to have to be carried by this Ezreal because Mordekaiser is definitely not doing it in this case. And Teemo might have a chance of making some good plays. He's building up some decent items. He's got lots of magic pen, but not a lot of magic damage since he went for that Void Staff. He's going to be able to do good damage to anyone who has lots of magic resist. But once he gets that death cap, if he decides to build one, that's when he's going to really start hurting so bad. Overall, though, that will make his shrooms hurt quite a lot for anyone who thinks they can avoid the damage by getting a little bit of magic resist. Here could be a situation where Gorillas goes down. He is warded against and did not realize that they had a ward there. Nice ulti is going to knock all 3 of them up, and that allows him to escape no problem. Do we have some action here? It looks like Nidalee comes around, and they do see that coming in. There's the teleport with the home guard boots. Vol'jin comes in, and there's the ghost from the Olaf. They probably went on the wrong target because he is going to get out of there no problem. There's no way for them to slow him down. They should have probably turned onto the Nunu or the Ezreal if they really wanted to grab that kill. Can a spear hit him? No, Nunu blocks that with his face. And that is going to be no problem. Looks like the Gorillas kid is going to go down, giving another kill to that Ezreal. Ulti not going to grab Nunu, and that's going to be pretty much a giant fail on blue team's part. They tried so hard to grab that kill, but overall they chased the wrong person, and they jumped in way too far into the turret, giving Ezreal that kill. Not good at all. And this is going to allow Toadsop to actually push down the top lane. He's able to finally take that turret. And now Pookie Style is shoving down the mid himself. Of course, he's not going to be able to do that for long, though, as we've got Nidalee and Sona both coming in here to stop him. He's trying to farm as much as he can. That's actually going to be a free creep for Nidalee, however. And he's just going to need to back right off of there. Alrighty. Looks like Lee Sin said he had no ultimate. He thought that he could kill him because he jumped in and he was going to kick him, but he forgot that he didn't have his ultimate up. That spear doesn't seem to do a lot of damage to him, but it's because he had a full shield up. But now he will get bursted down. I don't know what he's doing. It feels like he's just like freely giving away kills right now. I don't know if it's because they must be doing some mad trash talk in team chat or something, because he's just kind of running in. He doesn't give a shit right now. He's in full derp mode. That is unfortunate to see. That Mordekaiser kind of playing like I did about a week ago, where I was just like, I don't care, I'm just going to walk into people. Yeah, not the best thing to watch, but whatever. Lots of wards here all over this map. Looks like Teemo's got all kinds of shrooms sitting all over the place, as well as little snowman wards kind of hanging out there, giving vision for their team. But at this point in time, it's not that big of a deal, as the Mordekaiser is down. They can group up as 5 right now and shove this mid down as much as possible. I was about to say, are they missing someone? No, they are not. Right now, they just need to get some attack speed on that Graves. If Nidalee can just give him a heal, he can just boom, 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 burst down that turret extremely fast. Oh my god, and look at that damage going down. Mordekaiser just running in straight away again, and I thought he was going to go down much quicker. He actually stayed alive for a lot longer than I thought he would. Gorillas will die, but using that ultimate from Yorick, he's able to stay alive a little bit longer. I don't know why he used his W back to his teammates. Oh, and they're almost able to pick up the Olaf. His ghost does die though, so there's no more diving happening there. Overall, that's That Mordekaiser did go down in exchange for Lee Sin. Yeah, Ezreal saying he's intentionally feeding, and that's pretty much what it seems like, but he actually stayed alive quite a while there. If he gets tanky enough, his intentionally feeding tactic is actually going to turn into a good tactic, because they're going to all focus him, and then they can't kill him, and they use everything on him, and then the enemy team is able to clean up nicely. That's almost what happened there. Almost. If he had gotten a ghost off, that would have been legendary. Really what he needs to do is try and put a little bit of damage off without just running face first in, and then allow that Ezreal to blow someone up, and then put his ghost on that person, and then they'll probably win that fight. Then he can go in balls deep after they burst one person down. That is, if he wants to actually try and win this game, that is. Looks like I'm almost done with my smoothie. I still have a little bit more left. But this has been a great game and a great smoothie all around. Hopefully you guys are having a great New Year's as well. I'm definitely excited. Maybe you should leave down in the comments below what you're hoping to see in this new year, what your plans or goals are, or I don't know, something short like that that fits in the comment section. Because it's always exciting to look at that stuff. What people tend to get really excited about plans and stuff. Obviously, a lot of people say they're gonna do things and then they never do things, as their New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people still have good intentions, and at least if you really want something and you try for it, you can accomplish whatever it is you want. For example, whenever I started doing my YouTube channel, you know, I had no idea it was gonna grow this big, but I just know that I wanted to make videos that were entertaining and helpful for people, and I said I was just gonna do it, you know, constantly as much as I could, and so here we are now. And so I think, you know, there's a lot of people that ask me for advice and stuff, and I think that the best advice is just to have a clear goal of what you want to achieve, and to just you know, be consistent about it, and keep on working towards that and not give up, and you'll get where you want to go. So anyways, that rant over. I don't know where that came from, but that's just what was on the top of my head. Looks like we're having a little bit of farming here from both teams, and they might try and go for a little bit of a catch onto this Nunu. Doesn't look like Grills was able to land his Q though. He's still chasing in. This could be a little bit dangerous. Forgiven is very strong. He doesn't want to jump into that turret with him, especially with Teemo coming around on here. And if they get slowed with a Q, they could get turned around on pretty quickly, actually. Olaf comes in from behind. Oh, there we go. Looks like a nice kick onto the backside. Toltsov is going to go down. I don't know how to say that name, but Nidalee grabs the kill from that. I don't know if that was a spear or an ignite or what. And now bursted down. Pukki is still able to stay alive. Spear just barely missing him. And now they're going to be turning this around. Olaf chasing down. He's going to use that axe to keep them slowed down, but he's taking a lot of burst damage. He's going to have to be careful. There's ulti from Sona, going to take him down. And Forgiven out of mana right now. Oh my god, that spear damage. He bursts him down so hard. Looks like Sona is chasing the Mordekaiser right now, trying to pick up a kill on him. He is really low, so he knows that he can't actually stay alive. He did have enough shield, though, to block her incoming damage just enough so that he can make it out safely. Overall, that is going to allow blue team to be able to pick up that turret, maybe even the inhibitor. It's not going to be safe for them to stay around for too long. In fact, if they stay around right here, they might actually get engaged on, and so they're going to have to back out of there. Vol'jin trying to use his ghost to slow them down just a bit and do a little bit of extra poke. Spear is going to miss, and I think with Nunu's speed buff, they could potentially chase this down here. They've got the Teemo with speed, and Nunu and Ezreal. I mean, everyone here is really fast. But we have Gorillas here. He is back in the fight now, and he could potentially do some damage here if he lands a Q on the right person. Of course, he still needs to be very careful because they are a little bit low on mana here. It looks like Sona has no ultimate, and that's a big thing right now. Ezreal ulti not going to kill anyone. Vol'jin goes down though. Forgiven takes him out really quickly. Source out of mana, needs to back off, and they're going to get a free turret here, I think. I don't see Nidalee actually defending this very well. So they're going to go ahead, pick up a free turret out of that. They should have backed off a little bit quicker, especially since their ultimates were down at that point. Alright, and everyone is going to just back right off there and pick up buffs from their jungle, potentially try and contest the Baron right now as well. They have a decent amount of health and mana. Well, Pukei just got wrecked by that spear a little bit, so they need to be careful. Can Nidalee actually poke them down enough to cause them to stop doing Baron? I don't think so, but she might be able to make a play here. If she can get a nice spear off, she might be able to kill one person, but now that they've already gotten Baron, they're already backing off, and she's probably going to go down there. Looks like Ezreal picks up the kill. Gorilla's going to come in there, missing the kill with his kick, not doing enough damage. That's going to be 2 extra kills plus that Baron, and that is just really unfortunate for blue team. They put themselves in a really bad position now. Even though they were doing really well for the most part, this Ezreal is just carrying so hard at this point. He also now has a Black Cleaver, and he's going to be doing big damage from that. Not only that, but he's going to be going for, I guess, a Last Whisper? That could be his next item potentially. And so let's go ahead and speed the game up just a bit. We're getting into that point where people just kind of sit around and turtle a bit while they wait for the right moment to fight once again. So we'll just kind of wait for the next team fight to happen. Looks like they are going to go ahead and shove this bottom lane with Mordekaiser, and by they, I mean Mordekaiser is going to be on this bottom lane 1v2. Not a smart decision. He cannot even get them low HP, so he's just being completely terrible here. Like one of the worst players I've seen in a long time. So let's speed this back up. Let's see what red team decides to do in their 4v5 situation, if that is what it ends up being. Blue team probably should be grouping up right now that they have taken out the Mordekaiser, knowing that they have a slight advantage in that spear. Man, Nunu gets down extremely low from that one, and let's see, how much does she have? She's actually got 522 AP at this point. She does have a Void Staff, so she can be piercing through a lot of their magic resistance. Dragon is going to be going to the red team. Blue team probably could have gone and tried to contest that. It would have been a little bit dangerous still, to be honest. But either way, they are just going to play it safe right now. Nice spear landing onto the Ezreal. If they can keep hitting spears like that and slowly push in and poke down the enemy team, they can start taking turrets safely. They just need to be careful about those full-on engages. Looks like the Mordekaiser is trolling once again, pushing out all by himself, just running past the creeps, and he's just going to run into the turret like an idiot. So this is really sad to watch right here. This type of person probably should be one of the ones that just gets completely banned out, because it's kind of ruins games. As blue team is, they're doing okay, but red team should be clearly winning this a lot better than they are, and Mordekaiser's not really making it very easy on them to do so. Oh man, that would have been hilarious if Ezreal had enough damage to kill him with that ultimate there. And so right now red is just still waiting for a time when they can actually go and win the fight. Whenever you have someone trolling like that, one of the best things you can really do is just kind of follow them around, because they're not like AFK trolling, they're just running in to try and solo things by themselves. But here's the thing, like if they keep running off like that, the enemy team is eventually going to catch up and get stronger and be able to win against you, because they're just going to be farming up that whole time that you're waiting for your ally to respawn. So really the only option you have is to just follow them and try and do a 5v5 fight in the weird spot that they decide to run to. So right now they're going to go ahead and go for a potential 4v5, and that ended up being a bad idea. Teemo got poked down extremely hard by that Nidalee spear. She's getting to the point now to where she can just completely wreck people. And now she's got that Seraph's Embrace, which allows her to have a pretty big shield via her mana pool. And I've never actually seen that being used, to be perfectly honest. I've never seen the upgraded versions of these items before, so I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna have to pay attention to her in the battle and see if I notice a shield pop up without Lee Sin, and if that actually helps her out. She's gonna run past a lot of wards here. By a lot of wards, I mean a Teemo Shroomman ward. Looks like Pukei doing the same thing down here, just kind of trolling around. He's not actually going to run straight in on his own now. So he's not going to let them give him a free kill this time. So hopefully that will kind of balance itself out, and red team will be able to kind of come back in here and get a fair fight going soon. But if not, this Nidalee is just going to destroy these guys. Some great spear action happening here. And tried to go for the flash spear toss. Wasn't able to make it land, but that would have been an excellent play if it had actually worked. He's doing his best right now to carry this game on his shoulders. And really, the way you do that as an AP Nidalee is just hit a few spears. That's all you gotta do. And it's not easy because it's such a small range. And you gotta hit them from max range. And by small range, I mean small radius or width on the spears hitting. And it has you gotta hit it at max range for it to do the most amount of damage. But once you get into a good spot where your team is trying to poke down the turret and everyone's trying to group to stop that, you can stand around a wall and it's much easier. It's a lot harder to actually land those spears when people are running around randomly in no discernible fashion. But the best thing to do with an AP Nidalee is to get next to a turret and just sit there behind the wall and just throw out spears at the people who are trying to defend the turret while your team pokes down the turret with their auto attacks. And that's really the big strength of an AP Nidalee, is being able to do things like that. So now they are all grouped. Looks like red team has Mordekaiser cooperating with them at this point in time as well. Let's see if he decides to actually fight normally or if he's just going to run face first into the enemy team. Sane has to back off, getting stopped on that B from the Nunu there. And lots of shrooms are still doing big damage. The shrooms are kind of like those I hope you run into it things, and spears are one of those more active. I think it's kind of funny if you look at it this way, like a Nidalee and a Teemo are similar in the way they do damage, and it's that you kind of toss some things down on the ground and hope that you're going to burst someone down a large amounts. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it's very effective. So in Teemo's case, it's like you have to shroom up strategically in an area and run the enemy team through that in order to be effective in team fights. Whereas Nidalee, as an AP champion, you have to, I guess, just find the right angles and positionings to throw your spears down. And if you do land those, then it's very effective in team fights because you eliminate a few opponents from being effective in that team fight. And that's kind of the way it ends up being. So I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. Well, not for long, I guess, because they are already into a next battle. And Nidalee is going to be running past a ward here, so they do know she's there. And they can probably dodge out of those spears because they see her throwing them now. The hardest time to dodge a spear is when you don't see her throwing it, because you don't have a lot of time to respond to it. All she got to do is hit one or two of these spears, and she's going to be able to make a big difference. Now, Yorick is not even in this fight, but he is potentially just waiting for a teleport so that he can home guard gank one of these guys. And Nidalee getting, there it is, there is the home guard gank. She does land a spear onto the Teemo. Will he have enough damage to finish this off? This is going to be really bad. A lot of damage coming in from the Nunu ultimate. Forgiven is able to take down one of them as well. And this is going to be pretty scary. Yorick goes down finally. His ghost is doing what it can. Looks like the Mordekaiser actually grabs the ghost of Yorick, in fact. And either way, they're still backing off as they don't want to get hit by this poke here, and they're actually really low HP from all of that happened. So, and unfortunately, blue team actually lost someone there, but they were, oh my god, that was really bad. Graves almost got bursted down completely by Ezreal. Ezreal is so strong, he's got a full Infinity Edge built up, so instead of going for Last Whisper like I had thought, then he decided he was actually going to go for a straight up Infinity Edge, which is strong, and that's a perfect idea for him. And now they're going to be picking up a Baron. Blue team has control of this right now, and red is just too low HP from those Nidalee spears. They have been very effective at winning out this game for them. And now they could potentially catch this Mordekaiser. Is he going to get in range? He doesn't have any slows right now, so he can't walk into that bush with him. He doesn't want to risk taking a ultimate to the face from that Mord, as Mord does have a lot of burst. He's very squishy, but lots of burst indeed. And it looks like Gorillas is going to be running up, and he did not throw his Q. He was hoping that he can actually land it after getting the slow off, but after the Mordekaiser flashed, he was out of range of that Q. Sona and Gorillas both backing off now. With that Baron buff, they are going to be in a pretty decent situation to come back, and now they are 200 gold ahead overall in this game. So they could maybe come back and win this. Even though Ezreal has been carrying really hard, it's going to be very difficult for them to win it if they get hit with a few of these spears to the face in these next few team fights. They're going to need a lot of team coordination to make some plays happen. So let's go ahead and speed this up, and I'll follow Nidalee around. She's putting down some traps in the bushes, wards all over the place, so that they can safely grab this dragon. That's going to help them out quite a bit. And most of these people are getting to level 18. Most of the carries, obviously, we have Sona that is not there yet. Storz is able to take down that Mordekaiser. He's put himself in a bad spot, and I think this is probably going to be the game for Red Team. If they are not able to defend this inhibitor, then they're going to start losing all three of them soon. And there's another spear landing onto the Nunu. There's the first inhibitor down. Are they going to be folding over and grabbing the other turrets? It looks like they have the ping down, so they do want to do that. They're going to make the smart play and go for the other inhibitors. Couple of shrooms that they have to go through, but the shrooms are not that big of an issue just yet. Looks like his damage should be quite high, but overall it just doesn't feel like those shrooms are hitting as hard as they need to in order for him to be effective. He does have a Warmog's armor and a Nagus of the Legion. That's probably why it doesn't seem like it did that much damage. Plus he uses shield on himself, so there's a lot of health to counter out all of that extra damage from shrooms. And then he just lifesteals it back up and regenerates it with that Baron buff. So they're going to do a little bit of poke here. This is kind of where Nidalee should start to shine, even more so than she has been in other fights, except she's just not there. She's running around grabbing the blue buff. And so I think she honestly should have stayed there and poked people down at the turret so they could have finished that off, and then she could grab the blue buff on the way back. But either way, she's got the blue, and now she is running up here to try and make some plays happen. She's going to throw out some spears, and there's one. Can she get another? Is she going to make it possible for them to actually continue pushing in here? She destroys a couple of wards with that help of the pink ward. I don't see a lot of oracles anymore now after the changes, just a lot of pink wards. And that's kind of a more strategic play. Kind of interesting overall to watch that happen. Alright, and right now they were able to take down the turret, so they're trying to shove down everyone's HP bars so that they can effectively poke down this inhibitor. And right now, a GA on Ezreal is pretty scary if they decide to actually shove in here. There's ulti, it's going to hit almost everyone, and Forgiven is able to clean up that Yorick once again, and this time they will be able to shove this down. The Teemo is able to shut down the Graves. Sona dies now. Double kill for the Ezreal, but luckily a kill comes out for the... Oh, that spear almost landed there. I was going to say for Nidalee there, she got another kill. But overall, this is going to be a 2-for-3 trade. They did not get the inhibitor, unfortunately. She's going to stand around the corner, try and get that GA down, but obviously he was a little bit too high for her to kill him with that. And that spear was just not going to reach far enough over there to land. But it would have actually hit him if it had more range. Okie dokie, let's go ahead and speed this back up until the next fight. It looks like Puki Style is just being silly as hell right now. That is so unfortunate. And another blue buff for the Nidalee. She's grabbing all these blues all over the place. And she actually has a Zhonya's at this point, so she's going to be really difficult to destroy right now. A lot of wards here. They could potentially go for an Oracles. I think it would be a smart time because I don't see this game going too much longer, to be honest. It's just going to come down to if they can get those last couple of inhibitors and then get the super creep waves up and then just finish off pushing the lane down. Of course, they don't have any straight up full poke damage. Oh my god, Nidalee might actually go down. She used her shield, so there we go. That's the first time I've seen it, the actual use of the Seraph's Embrace to eliminate some of the damage coming down from her. She's going to have the heals from Sona as well as herself. She's back to full health there now, and that's going to be good to go. So lots of AP coming in from the heals there, and that's going to be just lots of trouble for Red Team. If they can't full-on burst them down, then these guys are just going to move back a bit, and they're going to fully heal themselves up and just get back to full health. Wow, that spear was able to take down Mr. Teemo. So the astronaut is down. no more space age technology to help him out here. And there's the ulti onto Olaf. It looks like he uses ultimate to get out. And there's going to be the home guard from Vol'jin. Runs in there, trying to do some damage. Source is able to pick up iBang on the first date. And there's the kill on the Mordekaiser. This is going to be GG, I think so, with the triple kill from Graves. Only one alive is Ezreal. No one has died for blue team, and there's no way he can defend this. This is going to be the end of this one. Overall, just too much troll from the Mordekaiser. I think they probably could have won the game a lot sooner if not for the Mord's trolling. But overall, it was a pretty good game. I got to see some great Nidalee spears, and overall the best what was I gonna say? Oh, the best commentary of the year, because it's the first one, so it counts as the best for now until the next one, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel and hit that like button if you enjoy my commentaries and you're excited to see some more. And I'm gonna try and put these up daily as much as possible, except for some crazy circumstance. So I'll see you around for the next one. This is Colby Cheese. Peace out.